What's up, guys? My name is Zach Black. Welcome back to the channel again. I just feel so good right now. I don't know. I've recorded like 4 videos, as you guys could probably tell. I just keep on recording. I had to turn on the light because I'm losing all my natural light. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just on a roll making videos today. I don't even know what the hell I'm gonna make this video about. Oh yeah, it was the higher self. That's right. Anyway, I wanted to talk to you guys about the higher self now. I feel like I've kind of poured out a lot of the different ideas that have been in my mind. So hopefully this video will be more straightforward for you guys, so it's not just this jumbled up ramble of crap. So the higher self I've mentioned in some of these videos I've just recently made today. Now for you guys, I'm going to upload these on a daily basis, so it's going to be like the past couple days for you. Of course, yeah, I'm just recording this all in one day. That's the reason I'm wearing the same shirt and all that kind of biz. So the higher self, what is the higher self, and like what do I mean when I'm talking about it? So the higher self is you, essentially. It's just I don't know. It's just another version of you that had the intention to come into this life, and this higher self laid out the plan for your life. And the higher self is kind of like the divine essence within you, and the divine essence being kind of like that consciousness that we all are. You know, like that one consciousness between us all. And I mean, some people want to call that source part of the consciousness God. If you want to, you can, or source, or, you know, to me, it's us. I mean, to me, there's no separation there. We are that consciousness as well. We all are. Like, none of us are more than another. I'm no more than my cat. I'm no more than a tree outside. You know what I mean? Like, we're all consciousness in one. And the higher self is just another one of those aspects of consciousness experiencing itself. And that's essentially what this whole thing is about, according to theories that seem to resonate with me quite well. I mean, I personally find them to be true. Again, everybody has their own cup of tea and stuff that they like to believe. So that's just my perspective, I guess. So the higher self, though, definitely is something that I believe to be a real thing for sure. Although it's not like I can prove to you that your higher self is there. If you ask for some kind of proof of your higher self being there, or you start communicating with him or her, you'll start to realize it's definitely a real thing. I at first really doubted it too, until my higher self started like saying things that were gonna happen. And then they did, and I was like, oh damn, you're a real thing. Like, that's crazy. But as you become very connected with your higher self, there's a lot of things that happen. And this is a very natural thing normally. And your intuition is essentially your higher self communicating directly with you. And different people have different levels of intuition. Some people, they can really hear it. And some people, they like pretty much only hear it when they're in a situation where they're about to die if they don't. So that's, you know, everybody kind of has that going on. Now, the thing with connecting with the higher self intentionally is you'll start to grasp more of your path and like what your higher self really wants to do in this life. And like I said, the higher self is you. So there's no like, oh man, well, what if I don't want to do what the higher self wants me to do? It's what the higher self wants is what you want, essentially. Like, you guys want the same thing. There's no separation there. So there's no reason to be like, oh man, my higher self's a total, you know, dick. He wants me to do something crazy. No, like, that's not going to be how it is at all. Your higher self is going to want the exact same thing as you. It's going to make you the most happy. And I mean, for me personally, these videos, you know, writing, lots of stuff like that, that kind of popped into my head as ideas, and my higher self has even given me creative ideas as to what to do. Even these videos, a lot of the video ideas that have been flowing in. I had to make these videos now because it's been overloading my brain practically. I can't hold them all in there, and I have some of the ideas popping in, and then they kind of like they don't necessarily fade away, but they pop up while I'm recording. So I start just talking about all kinds of random stuff that seems to have nothing to do with the video, but it's still, relevant stuff that I feel needs to be spoke about on the channel. Now, in the future, probably way down the line here, I'm probably going to revisit the ideas that I've spoke recently about, in like a year or so from now. I'll revisit some of them more briefly with more knowledge about them, and that'll help to kind of keep it all fresh, so you guys are still like able to grow with me as I'm growing too. Because I'm not like some Zen master, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on this path just like you guys, and if you're watching this, you're most likely on this path too. And the higher self is a huge factor in this path. Getting to know your higher self and being able to connect with them intentionally just changes everything, guys. That can really immensely change it. And you have infinite higher selves. There's like no end. Your highest self is that source consciousness. So it's practically infinite, guys. Trying to put a number on it would be a little ridiculous. But there's just so many higher selves, and each one of them just is basically a Zen master of your reality. Like, your higher self right now is like the one that's immediately above you, is the one that's basically dictated exactly what's going on in this experience that you're having right now. All the negative things that have happened, they've happened to shift your perspective into certain gears, I guess you could call them. So you see things from a certain perspective, so you learn things that you wouldn't have learned if that experience had not happened. And when this realization is finally fully realized, it makes you really not care so much when seemingly bad things are happening. Even in the place I'm in life right now, I could look at it in a bunch of ways that are negative, and there's quite a few. And that was a way that, I think me and my family have been stuck in for a while. We just had these negative perspectives, but nothing has really changed so much except my perspective. And yet now I feel life is so great, so fulfilling, and so I just feel this sense of happiness and inner peace. And yet, if you really look, nothing's really changed out here. It's all in here that's changed. And that's really where it starts. Once it all changes here, it starts to change out there. And that's where you just gotta keep it all going. And I feel like I heard that from somebody. I think it was the Life Regenerator. It's another YouTuber. Like I said, guys, I learned a lot of stuff. Or like I've said in a previous video, I've learned a lot of stuff on YouTube about these kinds of topics, and there's a lot of really wise people on here, and the Life Regenerator is one of them. If you guys want to check him out, his YouTube channel is the Life Regenerator. His name's Dan. Super great guy. He has a bunch of like really great raw vegan recipes. Is actually how I found him, and then I just randomly heard about this crazy spiritual stuff, and I'm just like, whoa, bro, back it up there. I just came here for recipes. And then, nowadays I'm just like, I want to hear all about this spiritual stuff, And I've been watching him for a couple of years, so it's pretty funny just to see how you develop internally and how your perspectives on different things change. Even watching like this kind of video, and you watch it now and you watch it, months later after you're really into your path, you're just like, whoa, like I never noticed any of that. And I feel the higher self really has a lot to do with these kinds of things in your life. And that internal joy, that sense of direction, that source of creativity, all kinds of stuff comes from your higher self. And to make this connection, all you gotta do is think about your higher self, man. I mean, you just gotta think about connecting with them. It's all about intention. It's really easy. It's incredibly easy. And I mean, explaining it in the best way I possibly could is, I mean, if you were sitting in meditation, I've already made videos on how to meditate and stuff, but get into more of the deeper side of meditation, and you want to really just get that clear state of mind. And in this state of mind, you can really hear your higher self speaking to you. And that's where you want to be at when you initially start to feel your higher self speak to you. Now, for me personally, everybody can do this differently, but I like to visually see a visual representation of my higher self. And now this visual representation has changed over time. It used to be just a mirror image of myself that, I mean, it was just me practically. It looked just like me and talked just like me and had the same sense of humor, which is kind of a strange part. Laughing at your own jokes is really weird. But over time it's evolved, and now when I see my higher self, it's more like this light energy kind of being instead of like a physical like mirror of me. He looks totally different now compared to when I first started talking with him. And this higher self knows like exactly like what your goal in life is. So it really establishes that sense of direction and that sense of where you want to end up in life. And like I said, you'll have so much inner happiness, man. Like, it doesn't matter what is going on in your life, man. Like it's you and your higher self versus whatever. And like you just start to get these realizations of like how much of an infinite being you are when you're communicating with yourself practically. And I mean, as you get into all these meditations and lucid dreaming and astral projection and all this kind of spiritual stuff, man, you really, I mean, just fear just naturally goes away. I mean, there's just like, what is there to fear? You know what I mean? Like, I'm an infinite being that does not die. Like, what is there to be scared of? I mean, this physical body dies, but like the being that is you perceiving from this physical body does not die at any point. That just doesn't happen. So like once that realization hits you, it's just like this huge sensation of peace and just the realization that you're really just here to experience, and you normally have a specific goal and purpose for this life in mind, which, I mean, also following your purpose, I mean, that just intensifies that feeling of happiness and peace within. And it's really a magical thing, man. And I'm just hoping these videos can help spread that around for you guys. But just a quick recap on how to connect to your higher self, since I seem to be rambling like crazy today. All you guys want to do, get in your deep state of meditation, do some deep breathing, whatever you need to do, get that clear Zen mind going on, and you want to just connect with that higher self through whatever method you see fit. I mean, for me, I visualize him literally there, and I just talk with him just like that. I'm just like, hey man, what's up? You know, I'm like in some shit right now. I kind of need some assistance. You know, could you hook me up with some advice? And strangely enough, one thing I want to point out is, I don't know if this happens with everybody, but whenever my higher self gives me advice, it's the strangest thing. I feel like I already know what he's telling me. Like, I know what he's gonna say before he says it, and I know what he's trying to say before he says it. And what he says is something that I feel like I already know, but it's like I'm just being told again, and for some reason it just hits me differently in a way that just finally clicks, you know? And I don't know, like, when you guys connect with your higher selves, let me know if you feel that same thing going on, because that's something that just trips me out every time. I don't know what to think of it. It's really cool though. Anyway guys, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's a really simple process. It really isn't that hard. I mean, I guarantee you, after just practicing it a little while, I mean, getting meditation down is harder than talking with the higher self, in my opinion. So once you get meditation mastered, at least to a certain degree, at least getting to that Zen centered, clear-minded state where you can easily listen, that's where you want to be. And that's why you don't hear your higher self normally, is because you just got all this mind chatter. You got all this stuff going through your mind. Your ego's just going to town, talking about whatever, bunch of irrelevant stuff most likely. And then, your higher self is just, kind of quietly there, like, hey bro, I'm here, and I'm trying to give you advice, but you're gonna just not listening to me. This is kind of how it goes. So you gotta clear the mind, tell your ego to shut its mouth for a second, and listen to the higher self, because inevitably your higher self knows what he's talking about, because your ego is just a compilation of everything that you have learned and witnessed and experienced throughout your life here, and that's kind of worthless in most cases. So listen to the higher self, guys. Get in that meditation, connect with him or her, and just start to really get down this path. And I mean, you can ask them anything. I mean, there's no limit. I mean, they're you. There's nothing to be afraid of. They're witnessing this experience through you and through many other yous in different realities at the same time. So there's no secrets between you two. I mean, they are witnessing everything you think, everything you do, all of that. So there's no reason to ever feel like you gotta, keep anything secret. So just let it be. It is what it is, man. Everything bad that you do or everything bad that happens, it's all part of your growth. It's all part of you on your journey. So there's no reason to ever feel guilty about stuff you've done. And there's no reason to feel, angry or upset with people over stuff that they've done, because it's all part of the journey, man. It's all part of your growth. Anything that you have experienced is important to your growth spiritually and physically, honestly. And connecting with your higher self makes it so you can more co-create things that are happening throughout your life. That way you don't go through so many terrible experiences. You can actually be more involved in what's going on in your life. I mean, obviously you still have a goal in mind, and that goal won't change because it was already put there when you were coming into this life. You already had that intention, so it's not going to change even when you're manifesting the reality. But being able to manifest the reality around you can just get other things into your life that you are more prepared for, and it can help you to prepare for those things if you're not ready quicker. So it's all cool stuff though. Anyway, guys, that's it. Please leave a like on this video. Really helps spread the awareness of these kinds of topics and all that. Share it on whatever you want. Subscribe if you want more content like this in your feed. And more importantly, you guys, have a fantastic day and much love to you. And what a synchronicity that everybody just got home right after I got done recording this. See you guys.